The Tulsa Race Massacre was a 2-day white supremacist attack on the residents, homes, and businesses of the Black neighborhood called Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa was a growing city with a population of more than 100,000 people. But with this, Tulsa was highly segregated. Most of the residents who were Black lived in a neighborhood called Greenwood. Cutting to the Tulsa Race Massacre, what prompted this event was a Black man named Dick Rowland. He was in an elevator with a white woman named Sarah Page. She screamed in the elevator and Rowland fled the scene. But then the next morning, Rowland was later arrested. There were many rumors that circulated about what happened in that elevator, but later it was reported that Rowland was arrested for sexual assault. The accusation that Dick Rowland, a Black teenager, sexually assaulting a white woman enraged multiple white people in Tulsa. There was a court hearing for Dick Rowland, and there was a mob of armed, angry white people waiting outside, which later met with armed Black people. With the angry mob of armed white men and an angry mob of armed Black men, shots were fired and all chaos broke loose. But the group of Black men were outnumbered, so they ran and fled back to Greenwood. After the Black men fled to Greenwood, thousands of white citizens, even armed by some city officials, poured into Greenwood and started looting businesses, homes, and were even hurting and harming unarmed people. According to the Red Cross, 1,256 houses were burned down and 215 houses were looted. Schools, libraries, hospitals, stores were all burned down, looted. Any Black-owned businesses that were up and around were being destroyed. After the Tulsa Race Massacre, it was reported that Dick Rowland stumbled into Page and that there was actually no sexual assault that happened, but the damage had already been done. After that news came out, something called a news blackout happened. For decades, there were no public ceremonies. The Tulsa Tribune removed the story about Dick Rowland and the sexual assault from the page, and it was basically being covered up, acting like this whole thing never even happened. Even though the accusation that Dick Rowland sexually assaulted Sarah Page is what prompted this entire event, they tried to make it disappear. The Tulsa Race Massacre wasn't even rarely mentioned. It wasn't even being taught in schools, and it wasn't really even put in any history books. Later, there was even supposed to be a bill created that required Oklahoma schools to teach about the Race Massacre, but it didn't get passed. There's a common denominator in the school systems that aren't teaching Black history, because I didn't even know about this event until my mother told me about it. One day, my mom was like, hey, we should drive down to Tulsa, visit the Black Wall Street, and just learn about the history of the Tulsa Race Massacre. And I was like, I've never heard of that. What is that? And she was just stunned, because obviously she probably thought that they taught us that in school. No, I did not know anything about this until my mom taught me about it. We looked up the history on it, looked up the story, and I learned about what it was, but I never heard about that in school at all. And I live in Oklahoma, and I never learned about this at all. Tulsa is like an hour away from where I live. It's just a common thing that Black students aren't being taught about Black history. And the only time we get to even get a little crumb of Black history is during Black History Month. There is no subject or class that is strictly for Black history. Yeah, you can put that as a major for college, but in middle school, high school, we don't really get to learn about Black history but slavery. And we learn about the same thing, the same people, and all these different things about slavery every single year, and we never get taught new things or taught about Black leaders in school. We just get little crumbs of Black history, and that's totally unfair to the Black students in the school system. But that is all the information that I have for you guys today, and I hope that if any Black students who didn't know about that story know about that serious tragic event that happened, especially Black students who live here in Oklahoma with me as well. I hope you learned something new about your history. Be sure to check out my personal YouTube channel, Princess Uwe, that is Princess UWE. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I definitely hope you learned something new today. Stay tuned, because I will have some good stuff for you guys next time.